Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Eternity Speaks. Reverend Bill is still having technical problems, so he is not going to be with us today, but hopefully he will get them straightened out. Today, we are going to help celebrate your great Christmas week. We have Mother Teresa with us. Christmas is supposed to be a time of great giving, and nobody gave more of herself than Mother Teresa. So I thought she would be a wise choice. So she's standing here, she's waiting. So there's not much sense in me babbling on. So let's hear the message from Mother Teresa. Good morning, everybody. Yes, I hope you are having an incredible Christmas week. Christmas is the most wonderful time of the year. It's a time where you should be with your family. It should be a time where you're thinking of your relationship with God. It is an absolute fact that Jesus was born. It's an absolute fact that he existed, so he had to be born. And his birth changed the world. Stop and think about how the birth of a baby can be celebrated by billions of people. Now there's many out there that celebrate Christmas and don't believe in God. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? I guess they're just looking for an excuse to have a party, an excuse to give presents. Well, that's on them. I would hope that they don't teach others that God doesn't exist, because he does. There's absolutely no doubt about it. You see, Jesus was God incarnate. He decided that it was time for him to come back, and it was time for him to try to make changes in the world. It was a very difficult time. The Romans were controlling the largest percentage of the world, of the known world at that time. They worshiped many different deities, many different gods. They didn't have the concept of a single God. Now, the Jewish people had that concept, but the Romans never really believed in what they said. The Romans and the Jews didn't get along that well. The Romans were very powerful, and they could pretty much control what went on in their empire. They had this vast army, and they were not afraid to use it. You see, death didn't mean much to the Romans. They had no problem with killing others. They had no problem with enforcing their way of life. But then along comes this little baby, an innocent little child, born of common parents, now beautiful parents, but they were poor, they were uneducated, and they were good people. So here comes this little baby, and that little baby is going to change the world. Amazing. Stop and think about it. If there was no God, how could this little baby have accomplished what it did? The baby grew up. Jesus lives this normal life. And then along comes John the Baptist. He baptizes our Lord, and 3 years of ministries begin. He's starting from scratch. Nobody believes in the one God, but God can create miracles. You see, sometimes humans have to be hit over the head with things for them to believe. God knew that he had to do things special. Oh, Jesus was incredibly special. He only spoke of love, spoke of giving. He spoke of a place where the human souls would go after passing. See, one thing everybody did understand in Roman times, as they do now pretty much, is that everyone's going to pass. Everyone is going to die. Now, you can worry about what your soul is going to do after you die, or you can believe. We come to you all the time and we tell you of this wonderful place in heaven. If you look around, you'll believe. If you look all around, you'll see all these incredible miracles that God has brought to humans. You see, that innocent baby doesn't know what to believe. It will believe what its parents tell them, what its family tells them, what friends tell them. Now, that's becoming a problem. In modern times, their friends are giving them a lot of bad information. God has chosen this time to give everyone more technologies. It's part of the challenge of living a good human life, is what you do with the knowledge that He has given you. Now, He hasn't given you great knowledge, He's given you enough to lay a foundation of knowledge. But I'm digressing. I came to you to talk about Christmas. When I lived, I saw the greatest human suffering possible. The slums of Calcutta were among the worst places on earth for people to live. There was great sickness. There was incredible poverty. There was a caste system in India that determined that certain people were not allowed to advance in their civilization or their culture. I chose to attempt those that needed help the most. On this incredible season of Christmas, sit back and think about what you are doing to help others. You see, God wants you to emulate His life. He wants you to emulate the lives of some of us. I dedicated my entire life to helping others and to trying to bring people to understand the teachings of the Catholic Church. Now that I'm on the other side, I understand that there's problems with the Catholic Church, but it's still an incredible institution. The individuals that attend the church are wonderful people. There were a few rotten apples, yes, and the church did a terrible job of getting rid of those rotten apples. And yes, those rotten apples did create incredible heartbreak. And that heartbreak is creating great problems for the church today. Many people walked away from it. Many people felt that they could not worship in the presence of a church that allowed evil. And I understand that. We all understand that. I think now that they are trying to do what's right. They're paying a great penalty for it. I want you all to understand that none of you out there have done 100% right. It's not possible. You see, as you grow up, you make mistakes. That's normal. You're supposed to make mistakes so that you can learn from them. Hopefully, the Catholic Church learns from their mistakes, but there's no guarantee. Just as there is no guarantee that you as individuals learn from your mistakes. I hope that you contemplate what you have done in the past that's wrong during this Christmas week and promise yourself that you will not repeat those mistakes. Now, I don't want you people to dwell on what you did that was wrong. It's in the past. Maybe you can make up for some of it. Maybe you hurt people. Maybe you could call these people up and say, "Oh, I'm sorry for what I did." Maybe you need to do some apologizing. Apologizing is good for the soul. But do not dwell on the past. Accept it, learn from it, but don't dwell on it. Dwell on the future. Think about what you can do to help others in the future. Think how you want to treat others, and think how you want to live the rest of your life. Many of you have many years ahead of you. Use those years to your soul's advantage. Christmas is a great time to simply sit back and contemplate your life. Sit back and look at your Christmas tree. It's a beautiful thing. Clear your mind, look at your Christmas tree, and think about what you want to do in the future. Now, I'm sorry to say there's many of you out there that can't afford those Christmas trees. So it's a terrible time. Inflation is harming many, many people. Individuals are out of work. Many people are firing. Can you imagine being fired from your job at Christmas time? Well, it's happening many places. It's happening because there are many people in your government that don't care, but that's another whole issue. Use this Christmas time to focus on yourself and your family and your loved ones. If you can gain control of your own personal life, then that will lay a foundation where you can try to affect others. Now, the hardest people to affect are your politicians because they know everything. They know how to gain personal wealth. They know how to gain power. They know how to be very, very important. Well, guess what? That's short term. In the long term, your soul life is what is the most important thing. Use this Christmas time to, first of all, have great faith. There's no way billions of people could be celebrating the birth of this little baby that lived 2,000 years ago if it wasn't for the miracle of God. So the foundation of Christmas is an absolute miracle. But you all need to understand the evil that is out there. I wish I could say there wasn't any evil. Calcutta is much the same as it was when I lived. There are many wealthy people in all countries. There are wealthy people in India. They could be so helpful to the individuals that don't have much. I hope that if there's a single thought that I can put into your mind today, it is that you need to give of yourself. You see, you're the greatest gift. When you give of yourself, you are giving the greatest gift possible. Many people don't understand that. Many people don't understand the miracle of Christmas. Many people only think about themselves. But the existence of themselves is a blink in the eye of how long your soul life will exist. Your soul will exist forever. Your human body is just short term. Your human body is an instrument to let you learn how to maximize the future of your soul. Let that sink in. Just as the miracle of the celebration of the Christ child has encompassed the entire world, you can accomplish things that will lead individuals into the future. Now, I'm not saying you can accomplish what God accomplished. He's God. But you can still accomplish much. Start with the children, with the young. Help the young. Many of the young are struggling terribly. You can go to institutions that care for them and see them. You can go to the shelters. Those mothers don't want those children in that shelter. Try to do something to give them the means to support them. Offer jobs if you have jobs available. Many of the homeless are qualified. They're just put in positions that they were out of their control. The economy has forced many, many people into poverty. They're good people. Offer them jobs. Try to help them. Don't turn your back on them. You see, when you turn your back on somebody that needs help, that reflects purely upon you and upon your soul. Christmas, oh, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Use it the way God intends. Use it as a source, as a stimulation to your soul. Use it as a stimulation to do good. Use it as a stimulation to be more like God. It's not hard. Even an individual that is facing great sickness and the end of their lives can still influence others by showing others that they have no fear of death. They know they're going home. They know they're about to celebrate the greatest days of their lives. It is never too late to celebrate your life, to celebrate your faith in God, and to celebrate how you can affect others. I hope that I have been able to maybe give you a little direction today with my message. I hope that all of you that are listening take time to do all that you can to serve and to help others. That's what I chose to do. I dedicated my life to serving others. And when I returned home, I was welcomed. I was celebrated for how I lived my life. And you all can do the same. Celebrate Christmas. Celebrate the birth of the Christ child. And celebrate the miracle that the birth of that little bitty baby did, that lasted thousands of years. If you don't understand the birth of Christ as a miracle, then you need to regroup your understanding. So I want to thank you very much. I always enjoy coming back. I enjoyed speaking to people, but I especially enjoy still having the opportunity to help others. I hope that what I learned can help others. Now that I have the ability to have my words heard, I'm very, very happy because I still have great faith. I know the one God. I have the unique ability. Well, not unique. There's others that have served as much as I have. But I have the ability to see him, see Jesus here in heaven. He will ask me to serve, and I will do exactly what he asks of me. I am asking you to serve, and I hope that many of you will. do what you can. So God blesses all of you as always. Thank you for listening. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk. Maybe I was a little long-winded today, and for that I apologize. Have a wonderful, blessed Christmas, and I will return to you sometime in the future. Goodbye. Oh, thank you very much, Teresa. Great words. We are all here for a purpose. We're all here to serve God. Whether you do or not is your choice. I hope that you use this incredible Christmas, this incredible time of the year, to decide how you will serve Him in the future. So goodbye. We'll be back with another message next week. It will be Christmas Day. Expect to hear from Mary and Joseph. So goodbye, and bless all of you.